Hello everyone. This is my first ever video, and today we're going to be talking about my favorite TV show ever. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So, in today's video, we are going to be ranking each season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I'm going to preface this by saying that I do love every season. However, some of them are just better than the others. So, we're gonna do season by season, and we're also gonna do the best 3 episodes, in my opinion, of each season. So let's get started. That says Leah ranks each season. I'm kind of struggling to decide where to put myself. I don't know if you can really read it that well, through me, but anyways. Um, oops. Okay. I don't know if you can tell based on the snippets that I put of each one, but starting off strong, I'm going to say that the worst season of this show is actually the most recent season, season 16. Hopefully, 17 breaks its streak. But I think that in terms of writing and also just I don't know, general comedy, I think it's just gotten a little less funny. Um, Still amazing. This is a very good example of that. I love the bowling episode. I think it's really strong because, wait, actually, oh my gosh. I keep forgetting where I put that. But anyways, these are the top 3 episodes for the season. I'm gonna start with The Gang Goes Bowling is definitely the best of the season. I would say because it has a lot of fan favorites in there. The McPoyles. I always love some Gail the Snail and obviously Artemis. And then I think the waitress is in every single season. So um I think Glenn Howerton and Dennis Take Some Mental Health Days pretty much a genius. However, I think I'm also a little bit biased, so maybe I can't say that. Um, and then Frank versus Russia, it's just a pretty strong episode. Overall, I would say this is not the best season. I think in the bottom ranks here, I had a harder time choosing what I thought were the best 3 episodes, just because I think a lot of them kind of came out not kind of just similar level of comedy. They're just doing kind of ridiculous stuff, but it's not quite hitting the same. Anyways, moving on. So, I think that this is probably a hot take. I don't know if you can tell from the first picture, but I actually think that season 1 is one of their not as great seasons, just in terms of, like I said, writing is going a little bit all over the place, which I think is valid. I also think that if a TV show's best season is the first one, then you're kind of in trouble. I might be kind of wrong on how low I put it. Thinking back, I might put it a little bit higher, but anyways, this is just my opinion. I also think that obviously they intentionally did the camera quality thing, but I think just general quality is just not as great. So that's my opinion. I also think that all of them were still trying to find the characters that they were playing, and they only had, I want to say, 6 seasons to do, or 6 episodes to do it. So, anyways, these are the best episodes from that season. Starting off with Charlie Gets Molested. That's a classic. I think it's the best overall, except for maybe Charlie Has Cancer. I do like the like the cancer thing. Um, but yeah, these are all good episodes. I feel like um they definitely were coming in strong. I also like the one, I don't remember if it's in season 1. I could be wrong. The one where they're arguing about abortion, and then Dennis is literally straddling the line or whatever, and they're throwing eggs at him. Um Anyways, such a classic still. Coming in next, I think we know what I'm going to say. If you can't recognize it from these amazing pictures, wait, sorry. I need to get the quality a little bit. Okay. This is season 14. I'm going to say that it could also be my fault because there were just some episodes that I just didn't really find funny. I don't know. So I didn't watch it. I think I've watched it for sure like once or twice. And then there's certain episodes that I've watched multiple times. Um, I do always think that the Franklin pew, pew, pew is so funny. But these are the best episodes from that season. The gang text is honestly like an instant classic in my opinion. Um, and I did really like the Thunder Gun one. I don't know. I always like when they like have a kind of straight man that's outside of the gang, kind of just like making them all seem crazy. And then this is controversial. That is actually the banned episode from season 14. This show has, I want to say, 5 banned episodes, and I, to some degree, understand why they got taken down. I do still think that they are hilarious. I love the Lethal Weapon episodes. That actually did not make my next list, which is season 15. Um, oops. This season, I think they were really trying to go for something different because it's like a really long running show. I think at that point they had hit like the record for longest running comment sitcom or something, but I just I think outside of the Ireland episodes, a lot of it just fell flat to me. Um I will say that Charlie Day's performance in the gang carries a corpse up a mountain is amazing. And I do also love Dee drowns in a bog, sings in a bog. And then the classic, like, I don't know. I'm also biased toward Dennis, if you can't tell from all the pictures of Dennis in this presentation. But I do think that he's very funny, and I also think that Glenn Howerton's just a 5-star man, you know? But yeah, his performance where he's like, "Go to the bell tower and ring the bell" was very funny. But overall, I don't think season 15 was super great. Um, season 16 was a little bit worse in my opinion. Like I mean, obviously I put other ones lower. I did think that the gang carries a corpse up a mountain is honestly one of their really like it's like up there in my opinion for the show. So it's surprising that this is that low, except I just think the other episodes are not that great, and I think that there are better seasons. So, anyways, I do love the Mac isn't Irish and the Mac is Irish thing. I think that was super funny. Okay, coming in next, I love Danny DeVito. I think that that is why season 2 made it this high on this list. Because of Danny DeVito. Um, this is kind of where the show started getting its like footing, and I also think that since it kind of took a while to get its footing, they hit its I'm not going to say it peaked yet. They haven't even begun to peak, but I think that they really hit their stride later in the series. Season 2 has some really good episodes. I had a hard time ranking. I really, really, really wanted to put other episodes on here, but this is what we're going with. The gang runs for office is one of my favorite just because of the whole like improvised scene where Glenn has like the paper and he's like, the Democratic vote for me is right thing to do, Philadelphia. So, anyways, the gang exploits a miracle. That's just a classic. Also, we meet Rickety Cricket, who is or some may know him as Matthew Mara, who's I think might be one of their most recurring characters. Wait, that's the waitress. Anyways, I love Rickety Cricket. He does have some weird cameos. Um, but this is like the beginning of the end for him. So yeah. And then Dennis and Dee get a new dad. I love I love when Mac and Charlie are supposed to like beat him up and they're just like stare at him. That's the noise makes laugh. And then I think the gang gets whacked is also this season. Am I wrong? Is that season 2 or season 3? I think it's season 2. And I do love the little clip of Dennis being like, "We cannot have you screwing things up." Okay. Coming in next, season 13. I think that there's a very clear reason as to why this is lower on the list. However, they had some bangers, so I couldn't put it at the bottom. But they were also not going off great because Fun fact, I think most people know, but Glenn Howerton was going to leave the show and was only in two-thirds of the episodes for this season, which I think really, 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 really affected the writing, because he also is one of the executive producers, um, and also just kind of like trapped them because they didn't know what to do. So, um, season 13, and I will say that Mac Finds His Pride is one of their best episodes. I love the performance at the end. It's amazing. And yeah, all of that. However, I think it's one of the ones that really lifted the season up and was surprisingly one that Dennis was not in, which I think is actually for the best. And then my two favorite in this season, Time's Up for the Gang and also the Gang Escapes. Um, ah, I was going to put Make Patty's Great Again or whatever it was, but it just really did not make the list. Anyways, time's up. You are ugly. Next, do we know the gang spies like us? The US? I don't even know what they were trying to do with that. Season 10, very strong season. This is one of the funniest episodes ever. The whole sequence of them talking about selling pies and little children is very funny. That is why it's at the top of the list for the episodes. Next, Psycho Pete returns. I love the whole thing with Rickety Cricket. That is, and them like trying to exercise Psycho Pete, and then also Frank retires, which is a classic. And I kind of wish that we like circled back to the whole Frankito thing because I thought that was really funny. Um, and yeah, just overall great episode, great season. There are better ones. Season 12. These are both actually from Dennis Reynolds making a murderer or whatever, and I honestly think that that is the best episode of this. Oh, let's see what I put on here. Oh, I didn't. Oh my gosh, it was Hero or Hate Crime. That one is funny. That's actually much funnier. Where he's like, the I don't even know. I think the bloopers from this season are really funny. Anyways, making Dennis Reynolds a murderer. Honestly, Glenn Harton's just acting, just in general, is as a psycho, just so underrated. I think that any episode where he did that probably made my list for each season because I just think he's hilarious. Okay, and then the Gang Tens Bar, a classic. And I also wish that they brought D back. Don't know what happened there. Um, yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this one. I do love Hero or Hate Crime. Danny DeVito's hilarious in that, where he's like, I peep on women. And he's like, not you. Okay. Probably gonna crop a lot of this, but anyways. What is going on here? Girl. Okay. Next season. We all know what season we're going with here. This is, I think, where they legitimately just like took off. This is one of my favorite seasons. I also love the gang dances, their butts off, and Max a serial killer. One of the two made the list. Can you guess which? That's right. That is, I think, one of the funniest episodes of television ever. And is severely underrated within the fandom as well. And then the gang gets held hostage. I love the McPoyles. They're disgusting, and I wish that they were in every single season. It makes me sad that they're not. And I love, yeah, I just love them. And then the gang finds a dumpster baby. This is a very funny episode. I wanted to do the screen grab where they have like the machete or whatever. And then also just like Dennis in it is so funny. And then them rooting through the garbage and everything is just crazy. Okay. We all know what this one is. Season 11. I love season 11 so much. Um, Mac and Dennis moved to the suburbs. It's a classic. Everyone's talking about her. Everyone loves her. Okay. The gang goes to HE double hockey sticks. Part 2. I do like part one. I think part two is really funny because it's just them trapped together going nuts. And I also love the sequence where they like are doing the imaginary dinner. I don't even know. Okay. And then the gang hits the slopes. It's a classic. It's so funny because they're just like, we're only here for 3 days. And then just Dennis's evil laugh and like the ski school. Okay. Season 6. In case you didn't know. So this season has one of my all-time favorite episodes of the entire series. Or oh my gosh, Mac and Charlie White Trash. It's so funny. It's a classic. Them drowning, the whole thing where they talk about Jamie Nelson, and then D. Reynolds shaping America's youth. I love all the Lethal Weapon episodes. It makes me sad that two of them are banned, and I think that they're hilarious. Um, Danny DeVito's acting in it is just insane because he just like is clearly acting horribly, but he pulls off horrible acting so well. And then also Mac's mom burns her house down. Classic. She's got Josh Groban in the part, guys. Okay. Oh, also, who got D pregnant? Dude, finding an episode, like choosing which episodes for season 6 was so hard because I wanted to do like literally all of them. The one that almost made it was who got D pregnant, but just because of because of McPoyles. Anyways, season 8. I love season 8. One of their strongest, and also just I I'm trying to remember if I included it. Yes. The gang gets analyzed. Also the gang dines out. The iconic scene of them staring at each other. And then also just the gang gets analyzed is amazing. I don't understand like I understand where they got the idea, but also just like the concept of them just sitting in a therapist's office and just like going nuts is so funny to me. And then obviously Reynolds versus Reynolds, the serial defense. The episode's really funny to me, and if I'm being honest, I was also swayed. And fun fact, I did in fact try to eat cereal in my car after that. Or wait, it was oatmeal, and everything went fine. It was amazing. I'm with Glenn Howerton on that one, and I would 110% do it again. I don't eat breakfast as much as I used to, so that's the only reason why I don't. But I do stand with him in the fact that it was not his fault. Someone hit him. He should be able to do whatever he wants. Would you yell at someone who is drinking Starbucks and it spills in their car? No, it's the person who hit them's fault because they wouldn't have spilled the Starbucks otherwise. Okay. That's right. Season 5. I love season 5. Um what is there to say about it? I don't know. I really am a Dennis Reynolds bias. K-pop fans get it. K-pop fans get it. This season really just like banger after banger. The waitress is getting married is so funny, especially when he's like, the waitress is getting married. They'll suck on that. And then putting together Charlie's dating profile, just a classic. And Mac and Dennis break up. I love this episode. All the cats in the wall and the chaos that ensues, as well as the Dennis system, which, by the way, I really wished that I. Oh, wait, no. Frank versus Russia is the one that has the SIND program, or the SIND system, or whatever. Um, I also shout out to Caitlin, or Kaylin. Kaylin? I don't remember what the. I think it's Kay. Kaylee? Kaylin? It's something. I don't know. I'm gonna stop saying it. But Glenn Howerton's wife for playing that role because I think I would have been too creeped out to date my boyfriend after that. Um, but yeah, shout out to her. Also, Ben the Soldier. I love Ben the Soldier. I wish that he was in more. I feel like a lot of their recurring characters just don't get used enough. Um, but for good reason. When he comes back in season 9 is so funny where he's like, I have really high stress levels, so I'm trying not to make any important decisions right now. Which actually leads us into season 9, which is legitimately one of. Oh, I just realized I'm not talking into this. Legitimately one of the funniest episodes of television ever is I've grown quite weary. Flowers for Charlie. I love Flowers for Charlie for numerous reasons. The sequence where he is talking to the waitress and just starts going, and he's like, I side with Shakespeare on brevity. He just like gets an accent and then he's just like, I've grown quite weary. Anyways, the gang makes Lethal Weapon 6 also a good episode. I will say it's a real bummer that you cannot find those easily. I get why they were taken down, but Hero or Hate Crime's still up, and also so is Charlie Says the N Word. So who's really winning? Okay. And then Mac Day. That is a classic. He poopied in his pants, guys. And also Country Mac. I wish that he came back. He couldn't have, but they never bring him up again. And also, I want to meet more of Country Mac's family. Whatever happened to him? Oh well. All right. We are getting up there. This is number 2 out of all 16 seasons. I think we know what we're talking about here. Season 4. I love season 4. Banger after banger. I actually had an aneurysm having to take episodes off of here because the gang does oh my gosh, what is it? The Home Makeover Extreme Edition is the funniest episode on the planet. I can go lower. Do you want me to go lower? I can go lower. And then Mac and Dennis Manhunters. I'm telling you, Caitlin Olsen deserves all the flowers for her performance in here. Them thinking that they're cannibals, everything about this. I remember watching this at midnight and I was trying so hard not to wake up everyone in my house with how hard I was laughing. Um, and then Mac and Charlie die. Part 1 and 2 are very good. I chose part 2 because if I think I'm correct. In the roommate, the yawn guy is so funny. And then The Nightman Cometh. I couldn't not put it in the top 3. It is the funniest episode ever. And I also reference Charlie's song very frequently. Okay. And then the best season of the best TV show ever made, season 7. I love season 7. Another example of banger after banger. There is only one episode on this season that I'm going to like redact. Okay, I don't like Frank's brother. I'm sorry, but it's true. I don't think that it's a good. I mean, it's like kind of funny. It's just like a weird episode. I don't really like the ones where they do tons of flashbacks. Same with in season 13, they do the clip show and it makes me mad. Anyways, these are my favorite 3 of season 7. This was also a very hard list to make. I love the high school reunion, and Frank's Little Beauties had to be at the top or second to top, because I also peed myself laughing at this episode. Um, we do not diddle kids. No good diddling kids. Okay. The Antisocial Network and also The Gang Gets Trapped. This season, I think I've rewatched all of these episodes probably at least 20 times. And I'm pretty sure I have The Antisocial Network memorized. Just memorized. Same with The Nightman Cometh, honestly. Anyways. This is my ranking. Thank you to everyone who watched this. Probably no one. But this is the best season ever. And let me know if you agree or disagree. But thank you.